Hello, hello. It is Sarah Waggle, astrologer and leadership coach here for this Moon Astrology Tarot. This time for the moon in Sagittarius. This moon ingresses into Sagittarius late in the evening on the 25th, and then it will leave on early in the morning on the 28th. So it seems like a lot of days, but it's not, because it's late in the evening and then early in the morning. Mercury is direct. Yay, right? Unless you're one of those people who likes Mercury retrograde, which there are a few. There are some people who actually thrive during Mercury retrograde, so I can no longer hate on it. But anyway, most of us are probably relieved. However, we are building to this Mars-Neptune conjunction at 28 degrees of Pisces. And so, there's definitely a lot of intensity happening with that. This moon in Sag is a mutable fire sign, will trine all of the Aries placements. That would be the North Node, Mercury, Chiron, and Venus, and it will square the Pisces placements, which would be Saturn, Mars, and Neptune. So kind of some dynamic, which, mutable energy is dynamic energy. So, hang on tight. I know it's intensifying out there. And what I will say is what I've kind of been saying, I'm starting to feel like a broken record in a lot of ways, but stay in your lane, eyes on your own paper. Really feel into where you want to create things. This Taurus season has just ample opportunity to create and do the things that you really want to do, have the experiences, the sensations that you really want to experience and be a part of. And this is honestly, this Taurus season and a little bit of Gemini season are probably like the two stretches of time in this year 2024 where you're going to feel like you've got the motivation to do things. And that's not to say that you can't do things any other time, but it's kind of like I've said before, I'm not like the astrologer that's going to say if you don't do it by such and such a date, you're done, there's no more opportunity. But there are times when the energy is more ripe and the energy is more supportive versus if you wait till July when, we get more planets in retrograde, it's going to feel a lot harder to more restricted to get things moving in the right direction, or at least in the direction you want to go, right? So if you're wanting to create something, now would be the time to do it. And maybe that's, within your home. And, we are talking about Taurus. So Taurus season. So, we're talking about resources. We're talking about, food and beverage and all of those sorts of things. And so, it's really that this space to think about, maybe you do need to think about having a food supply or how you are storing your food, your pantry goods and whatnot. Where are you getting your fresh fruits and vegetables from? Where are you getting your fresh meats from? Those sorts of things. Are you, just still going to the supermarket, or are you going to a butcher, or, are you, butchering your own, like, are you buying like your own cow or a half a cow and doing it that way, right? I know a lot of people who do that. I know a lot of people who do butcher box, and that sort of thing. So it's kind of like knowing where your stuff's coming from so that you're supported or resourced to continue to, thrive. And during this time, you may be in an area where none of this is affecting you, and that's great. But you may be in an area where this is affecting you, right? I know plenty of people in different regions of the country, maybe even of the world, where they can't get to a food pantry because they don't drive, or whatever. And so maybe it's like figuring out who can take you to the food pantry or who can get you to the grocery store. I always think about practical, simple things like that. Like, we could talk about food shortages, we could talk about the price of groceries, like we're all not oblivious to that. But what we can be attentive to is you at the end of the day have to support and source yourself. And so it's just it's a bunch of places to look. And I feel like with this Sag moon in this Taurus season, we are looking at the bigger picture. We are looking at the Jupiterian, energy, the Jupiterian, the expansion, of all of that. And so, whoops, card flew out of the deck. Let's see if I can find it. Hang on 1 second. One flew over the Star Trek deck. Which movie was it? Was it Insurrection, or maybe it was Nemesis? Where the view screen exploded and a crewman flew out of the ship. Was that Insurrection, or was that Nemesis? I can't remember, but I distinctly remember a crewman falling out of the view screen because the view screen had like busted and exploded, and a crewman flew out of the ship. That was kind of freaky. Anyway, let's see what's up with the Star Trek tarot. It's a weird shit I remember sometimes. Okay. Okay, we have the Page of Batleths upright, Alexander. Page of Batleths. Almost like that wild, like curiosity of learning, or of learning, maybe even like, I feel like this is like, I always think, when I think of Betless, which is swords in traditional tarot, I always think of like playing chess. This seems very strategic to me, but swords is about intellect. And so it's kind of like expanding your knowledge base of something. And so maybe it's, you're not familiar with how certain things work or operate. And it's like this opportunity to educate yourself. We're all learning, right? None of us is like absent from learning. We're all learning, even if you go to the grocery store, that food came from somewhere, right? And I certainly follow a lot of different content that's about, homemaking things like homemade laundry detergent and all that, because I don't do commercial fragrancy chemically things in my house. And but then it also comes down to like, are you paying attention to like ingredient labels and things like that, and do you know what these ingredients mean? So I feel like there's like this like desire to educate yourself. And yes, there's like 100 bazillion different pathways that we could all educate ourselves on. And it is tricky to keep up with everything. I completely get that. And, my transformation of like my, cleaning up my home, clearing out what do I want to say here? Detoxifying my home has taken me over 12 years, right? It's not something I just did overnight. It's taken time, and detoxing my medicine cabinet and detoxing how I consume, whatever it is, like it's taken over time to do. It's definitely not something that happened overnight. That is for damn sure. But also like even like plastic containers, like I don't know where all this is coming from. I guess there's something up. Maybe somebody needed to hear me talk about this. But there's something about like educating yourself as to what you're actually dealing with, and your situation. All right, let's see what's up with the ancient feminine wisdom. Watch it be like Hygieia or something. That would crack me up right now because of what I just said. I don't know where Hygieia is. I should probably look that up. I knew she was in Pisces a while ago. I don't know if she's moved on to Taurus or not. It would be interesting if Hygieia was in Taurus right now. Because Hygieia is like health and health care, the goddess of health and health care. And I think that would be interesting. All right. Let's see what we got going on. Oh my God, we got echo again. Unrequited love. Damn, y'all. Y'all, I shuffle the decks between film. I don't just shuffle them on camera. I also shuffle them in between. I do like like here I just do the stack shuffle, but off camera I do like a full shuffle. So unrequited love. Thumbs up. Thumbs up with this unrequited love situation. Um, so I had to pause for a sec because I needed to look it up because I wanted to know what the hell this is pointing to. But we are in Taurus season, and Taurus is about self-love and self-worth and self-value. And uh, uh, we're also therefore in prime. Your relationship with people, places, and things is going somewhere or it's not. Think about like the ROI, return on investment. And so, it's kind of like, have you been pursuing something for freaking years, or you've been in the relationship for freaking years and it's dead? It's not going anywhere and it's time to be done. That's what this is. And I'm baffled that this came up twice in two videos in a row. I swear I shuffle the decks in between videos. Um, so yeah, something's coming up there. And I don't know if it's like my, my own projection. Or if somebody out there listening to my videos is going through it and they are struggling big time to acknowledge that something is not returning the love that they have. And remember that, some of us really can love hard. Like we can love deeply. And it's that whole game of like acknowledging that if he ain't texting, if she ain't responding, if they're not supportive, if they're not, you know, people get super annoyed at me because I have such high standards that keeps me single, but it's like, damn it, I want certain things in a relationship. And if he can't measure up, he can't measure up. And I don't mean in the length way. I mean in like the um in the, if we can't hold a conversation, or he's not a bookworm. Nah, that's not really one of the things, but I do like somebody who likes to study and educate and is, but anyway. Okay, and then we got lime. So I would say anything citrusy purifies and alleviates overwhelm. Well, that's kind of obvious, right? Lime, copaiba, anything like that that can keep your brain calm, your nervous system calm. It is definitely an overwhelming time. And whoever out there is struggling with a relationship situation, my heart goes out to you. I don't mean to joke around about it at all. Obviously somebody's going through something that really needs to see that card 2 videos in a row. And then we have that page of batless. And so, I know there's a lot of people out there who are in situations that they can't get out of for whatever reason, whether that's resources unavailable, or lack of support or something like that. And so, whoever out there is listening that's going through something, like, I feel you 100%. I've been there before too. And just know that you're okay. God's got you. And, somewhere out there is someone or some entity that can support you through whatever you're going through. Also, of course, as always, where you need to seek support, seek help, whether it's a therapist, a social worker, or some sort of professional, a coach, a mentor, however that looks for you. So that's what I got for this Moon and Sag. That seemed like a lot. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you on the next one.